name is Almasa Salihovic. I survived the genocide in Srebrenica, and today I am working as a public relation officer for the Memorial Center. Bosnia and Herzegovina was a part of Yugoslavia, and as every other country that wanted to be independent from Yugoslavia, Bosnia and Herzegovina was also among those. So there was a referendum, and 67% of the people in Bosnia and Herzegovina wanted Bosnia and Herzegovina a homeland for all the people who are living in it, but independent country. However, as being one of the constitutional people in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbs did not want to come to this referendum, so their political leadership boycotted, and they did not accept the results, and the results were the independent Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Unfortunately, that brought a lot of misery for all the peoples in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but in general, Bosnian peoples were among those who were hurt the most. So eventually this would lead into a war that ended in 1995, killing over 100,000 people in total, and unfortunately, genocide in Srebrenica was the, let's say, the peak of this war. So originally, to be honest, I don't think that any of the peoples wanted war in Bosnia and Herzegovina. However, unfortunately, neighboring countries interfered and helped this, if we can call it, conflict to arise into a war, which unfortunately ended many, many years later than it began. Over 100,000 people were killed in this war. Over 1 million, I believe, were displaced, and a lot of people left the country. Over 50,000 women were raped altogether in this war. This is according to some data. However, we will probably never have the exact data of the suffering of the people in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Well, during the period of the war, Bosnians received a lot of humanitarian aid, but to be honest, I am not sure if I can give you the exact number, how much did it come from certain countries in Bosnia and Herzegovina. A lot from the United States, a lot of the Arab countries gave the humanitarian aid to the Bosnia and Herzegovina. To be honest, I'm not sure if I can give you a proper answer. What I know of is that there were Pakistani troops, peacekeeping forces in Tuzla Canton, which is a close town close to Tuzla, where they were stationed. So there were a lot of countries involved in peacekeeping forces in Bosnia and Herzegovina, so I believe one of them was also Pakistan. All those war criminals who committed most of the crimes in Bosnia and Herzegovina were held accountable thanks to the tribunal in Hague. Even today, almost 30 years after the war, we still have trials in Bosnia and Herzegovina for certain crimes that were committed also. But unfortunately, we will never have all of the war criminals who committed crimes in Bosnian war accountable for. I believe the fear will always be part of our lives, because we always fear that another war might erupt. But I do firmly believe that most of the people in Bosnia and Herzegovina, whether they were Bosnian, Serbs, Croats, and others, we all want peace. So I do believe firmly that all of us have this fear of another, let's call it, conflict or a war, but eventually I do firmly believe that most of us, in the bottom line, is that we want peace and peaceful future. Let's hope not. That's why we today also exist to tell the story about this genocide, so that the future generations of the young people who are the future of this country and every single other country, to learn the messages, and that war, genocide, mass atrocities are just simply not solution and should not be part of the future of this country. Well, when we see the example of the genocide in Srebrenica, I do believe that they failed a lot to protect the people here, because we, in a way, we were their homework, and they failed to protect us. Otherwise, this genocide wouldn't have happened. I really, really do not know whether I know the answer to this question. What they should experience when they at least come to this place is to see that it's not worth it. Not a single life shouldn't have been taken in the way that it was taken here, in this severe way, where children and adult men were killed, where women were raped, where women were killed as well. Any single conflict that we have today basically is not worth a single life lost. So that's why from this place the message should be taken never again to anybody. So this is what we hope, and this is why we are talking about this so much. let's never forget, and let's learn from our past, our recent past, about what happened here and why we should, all of us individually or as people, try our best to prevent every single conflict that should arise. And it's basically takes a lot of years for a life to recover and to move on again into a better future. So it's painful, and we should all think about before we ever think about any single conflict or any war. So it's really not worth it, and we should all strive towards better future, but remembering the past and learning from it.